Welcome, everyone. We have another guest today, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Eric James. Shout out Divinity Records. We in the building.
Perfect. And I'm glad you said that because I was going to ask you about that. But first, let's just get into what do you do?
I am a hip-hop artist.
Hip-hop artist. Okay. And how did you start that? What made you want to do that?
So actually, my entire family is musically inclined. Starting off with my grandma. This is a funny story. A lot of people don't know this. Rest in peace to my grandma. My grandma she was from Arkansas, came up to Chicago. Her mom was big into like gospel music. So my grandma had music playing around the house all the time when my dad and his siblings were kids. My grandma actually had discussed with the project building they lived in to let Earth, Wind, and Fire practice in their projects. So my grandma had, kind of advocated for them, which story nobody knows, they will now. So music's kind of been in my family. My uncle is a famous reggae singer. He tours in like Japan and Europe and stuff. One of my aunts is a gospel singer. A couple of my cousins are in bands. One of them just moved to New Orleans to like do bounce music. So music's just been around the family. My older brother, he ended up being a comedian, but he was a rapper for a little bit of time. And I just gradually started, getting into it. First album I ever heard on my own was Word of Mouth by Ludacris. And then I used to steal my brother's CDs, Carter 2 by Lil Wayne, The Dedication 2, and it just made me want to rap. So eventually my older brother Brandon actually learned that I wanted to rap, and there was a song off the Drought 3 called Back on My Grizzly. That's a Lil Wayne song. And he found the instrumental on YouTube, and every day I come home from school, my brother's like, yo, rap. Just say whatever, just rap and rap and rap. So I would start practicing, and if I messed up, he'd be like, nope, start the beat over, go again. And it was just kind of like just like drills, like basketball. So then I just started going to school, battle rapping people, and I just fell in love with it from there. I was writing poetry at the time too. I still do. And like I just fell in love with the art form and just carried it with me. But shout out grandma, shout out Brandon. Without him, I really wouldn't have been doing this.
That's crazy that he just become home and go, boom, go.
As soon as I walk through the door, he's like, man, you know what time it is. Do that homework real quick, and then come on, you know what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, no cursing. Like, of course, I was a kid. We in our parents' house. So I had to really, really, really say something significant without cursing.
You were like freestyling?
Right off the top of the head.
Oh, wow. That's even crazier.
Right off the top of the head. And the first couple freestyles was so trash. Like, I said something like, my name is Eric from Chicago, from the South. Keep on playing with me. I'm going to hit you in your mouth. Something super, like, stupid, but
you have
it
to
just
start somewhere.
Built upon it. And I wanted to give up at first because I was like, I'm not any good. I'm listening to Lil Wayne. Like, this guy is excellent. Why can't I rap like him? And my brother was
how
like,
old were you?
Keep going. I had to be like, what, 11 probably?
So you, 11 years old, are comparing yourself to Lil Wayne, who, I don't even know how old he is now, but
40-something.
Yeah, he had a couple years on you. So I think you were fine that you didn't have the talent that he had at 11 years old.
I think what it was like, I've always been the type of person where if I get into something, I want to be the best. Like, not to say I'm better than anybody in any way or shape or form, but I want to be the best at this craft. So 11-year-old me was looking at like 25-year-old Lil Wayne like, you're the competition. You are where I need to like get to. I need to surpass you. Same thing with Eminem and every other artist I listen to was like, I need to get past you. And how that kind of led into today when my friends and I are rapping. James is usually in the studio with us. Me and my friend Vontae, when we're rapping and we're doing our thing, I might hear him say something and it's like, oh, that's crazy. So then I'll go back like, no, I gotta rewrite this. Like, I'm not having this. I just want to be the best at what I'm doing. I just want to excel at it. So that was my mindset when I was 11. Whether it was school or whatever the case was, like I set a high precedent for myself. I have to succeed at everything I'm doing. Yeah. And I mean, perfectionism is cool. It's not, but it is. That's created a lot of problems for me. Where I'll hear a verse and I'll like write a verse. Anybody who hears it is like, oh, this is great. And I'm like, no, it's not. I can do better than that.
I like one of them. Let me see. There's one that I wrote down. It's from Inglewood. And you say, I don't think this is the exact lyrics, but it's like along the lines of, why did Jesus test me? Chosen to make it, but I have to practice patience. It's because when I make it to the top, they won't question greatness. I love that one.
Remember asking grandma all the time, why does Jesus test me? She said, because I'm chosen to make it, just got to practice patience. Then when I make it to the top, they won't ever question greatness. Yeah,
I love that line. I went back and I listened to that over and over again because I had to like write it down too. And I was like, that one I really liked.
True story. I remember that. I remember what actually caused me to write that. At the time, that's off of my project. That's off of From a Prince to a King, I believe. Mm-hmm. My grandma had just passed away like maybe a year before I dropped that. And I recorded that song like shortly after it happened. And I was just thinking, they hit me pretty hard. I was thinking about all the conversations we had and everything that we talked about. And I remember asking her, like, why is it? Because she used to always say, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. That was her thing. She always used to say that. My grandma used to have a necklace that was like just a small pouch with a mustard seed in it. Like, that was her thing because she was just super, super, like, pray about it. God will take care of it. And I remember asking her one day, like, why is it that the ones who are meant to be something get tested so much? Mm-hmm. And my grandma used to tell me, how can you know great if you don't know terrible?
That's true.
And I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So when I wrote that, it was like, this is a real conversation we really had, where it's like, you know bad, you can't know good if you don't know bad, and you can't appreciate the good if you haven't been through the bad. So she used to, basically what she was telling me was like, man, you gotta appreciate the struggle. Like, it sucks, but
it really does.
It's you gotta get through it.
Yeah.
It's okay, you know what I mean? You gotta find the good and the bad, and that's something that I still carry with me to this day from her. You always gotta find the good and the bad. It's always good and the bad.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of your songs when you're writing from personal experiences?
Yeah, pretty much every song I've ever written is either something I went through, something somebody else went through that I was there for, or like something I've seen. Like, everything is something that happened in my life. And no cap in my rap. No caps in my raps at all.
Can we talk about the one, let me look the name up. Letter to the 26 in California. So that one is about I can never say this word, incineration?
Oh, incarceration.
And there we go.
Yeah.
That word. Yeah. Can we talk about that song? So, what was your inspiration behind writing about that topic?
So for everybody who's from Chicago and y'all know, 26 in California is the county jail. That's where the county jail is. Right on the intersection. If anybody who watching this from Chicago, you know there's a Popeyes on this side. Across the street is the courthouse, and then further down California, before you get to 27th, is like Division 10, Division 11 is on the other side, I think, on like Sacramento. That's just the county jail complex. So Letter to 26 was inspired because one of my family members, very close to me, the reason why I rap, went to jail for something really stupid. And it was my first time actually having somebody so close to me incarcerated. And I would just hear him talk all the time, telling me like, this is not a place where you want to be. These people disrespect us. It's racist in here. Like, this is what the system does. They try to trap young black people. Like, keep your head on straight. Don't ever fall for the trap that they set for you. And when I wrote that song, it was just coming from the perspective of, so that's funny because I split the song into two. Even in the hook, and I'm praying for them better days, feeling warm from the sunshine rays, walking in these shackles clang. And I'm counting down my day of freedom. God, please make these days get easy, free me, because my people need me. Every other verse is me, and every other line is me and him. So I'm praying for them better days is me, or it's him. Feeling warm from the sunshine's rays is me because I'm on the outside. Walking in these shackles clang is him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it goes back and forth.
Yeah, kind of like a conversation.
He's saying free me because my people need me, and I'm saying like, God, please make this get easier, because anybody who's watching, you ever had anybody incarcerated, you do the time with them. You're in there with them. And then the first verse is from his perspective being in there hearing me dealing with the things I was dealing with at that time. Grandma passed away. I had a relationship I was in that ended very, very messy. I had just growing pains. I had just graduated from college. It was a lot of things I was going through at that time. I had a crappy job, and he's listening to what I'm going through, and he's like, man, I can't do nothing because I'm stuck behind these bars. And then from my perspective, the second verse is from my perspective, where I'm telling him like, bro, it's cool. Things kind of suck. I didn't think it was going to ever be this way, but keep your head up. We're going to make the best out of this situation. And in the end, I kind of just shout out like anybody who's going through that, just keep your head up. It's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? Like, me and him even have this saying, you know, just to get through it, where it's like, this is for now, not forever.
Yeah.
So it was just a way to like, really, I wrote that for me in order to like keep my head up with everything that was going on. I actually performed at a event in the Dan Ryan Woods on the south side, so like my hometown, my home area. It was like a charity event or something like that. They were giving out backpacks and stuff, so I performed there, and somebody's mom walked up to me and was like crying and was like, I feel this is how I felt when my son was in there. So, and I never really intended for it to touch people like that. I just wanted to make something that helped me get through it. And just having that happen was so crazy.
And now, how did that make you feel?
It really made me feel, well, first off, it made me feel like I wasn't alone, whereas like other people also go through the stuff I'm going through. Unfortunately, this isn't exclusive to me. But also, it kind of made me work a lot harder towards getting on, because if this lady felt what I was going through, and other people there probably felt what I was going through and just didn't approach me about it. There's 7 billion people in the world. There's probably hundreds of thousands of people that understand what I'm going through.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And they feel like they don't have a voice to say how they feel. So it just really made me want to keep working and get where I need to go and just be able to spread this message on a large scale. Yeah,
I think that's the crazy thing with music, is that you can just connect with so many people that you usually wouldn't be able to connect with, just with whatever topics you're rapping about, and that's like amazing.
They just played one of my songs in the Bahamas 8 times. For a lot of people, that might not seem like anything, but I'm a kid from Chicago, from Inglewood, no less, the worst neighborhood in the city. To have my music with little promotion being found in the Bahamas is crazy. And the fact that they played it back like 7 more times.
Yeah. What song?
It's a song I just dropped, actually. It's called Ruth. It's with my guy, the Philly named rapper Mike. That was so crazy. That I posted a snippet of that on my TikTok. That got like 4,000 views on TikTok. So it's one of my bigger ones. But that was crazy. Yeah. It's crazy to see that. So really just want to connect with people. You never know who's going through what, and who's going through what you're going through, and they need somebody to talk to about it, or they want somebody to understand them.
Yeah. Do you have any other social topics that you want to rap about in the future?
I'm working on a song now that's pretty much talking about, I got 2 songs about mass incarceration. So that one and Letter to Stateville is also about mass incarceration. And Letter to Stateville is a little more of a darker tone. It's talking about pretty much what happens post-conviction when like your family's in the courtroom, they see you get convicted, they're going through the trauma of dealing with that, and just kind of how you feel inside. And speaking from personal experience, I can tell you I felt pretty angry. Mad at the world. Why is this happening? This is ridiculous. My collaborator and I, his name is Axios. He's also on Divinity. So he's from the suburbs. I'm from the city. Black people around the country, world, whatever, we all face adversities and things like that. But we had a conversation one day, and we came to like the conclusion that the adversities that black people face in the city might be different from in the suburbs. Whereas like in the city, in the suburbs, you have to deal with racism, you have to deal with the police, you have to deal with even like systemic racism, where it's like we want to keep you in one part of the suburbs. Like you go to Naperville, most of the black people on Bailey Road, and Bailey Road is kind of sketchy. You go to the rest of Naperville, it's not that many minorities like that. And it's like that throughout most of the suburbs I've been in. And I was telling him, hey, in Chicago, like CPD is CPD. Everybody knows how they are. You don't really have to talk too deep on that. And also, like, we have like the gang banging element that we have to watch out for also, where our own people are trying to do us harm. Mm-hmm. And that's something in the suburbs people don't have to deal with. So I was like, it's the same, but it's different. So we're working on a concept tape where we're telling like stories from the perspective of these two people. And another thing that I've pretty much, I went to school in Naperville. One of the things I personally experienced was that suburban black people, like at least the ones I've come across, kind of looked at city black people like we making the culture look bad or something. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we had this student union called BSA, and the people who ran like the Black Student Association, they wouldn't want anything to do with people who were more hood because we were making them look bad to the masses. And it's like, I can't help the circumstances I grew up in. Mm-hmm. I can't help, being a product of my environment, even though I didn't do a lot of the things personally that people who are products of the environment did. I can't help how I sound. I can't help people say I have the Chicago accent. I can't help none of that stuff. I choose to speak in slang terminology because this is how I'm most comfortable with communicating with people. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that disconnect made it harder for me personally to like navigate and traverse this environment that I've never had anybody in my family go to college. Mm-hmm. So this made it harder for me to traverse that environment because I already feel as if I don't belong, and then my own people are making me feel like I don't belong even more because they're from the suburbs, mm-hmm. from these wealthy families, and I'm from the hood. Like, and I told them like this disconnect is crazy. Like, I'm sure other people may have experienced that, hopefully not, but like my personal experience, like people, it's to the point they wouldn't even support my music. Mm-hmm. Like, they supported my friend, like Axios. They listen to him, but we recorded a song together. We remixed Middle Child by J. Cole. They listened to his verse intently. When my verse came on, they kind of just walked off and like got on the phone and started talking as if they just were disinterested. Yeah. I took it as motivation. I don't really mind it, but it kind of just highlighted the disconnect. That's when he kind of saw the disconnect of like, yeah, bro, I don't think they really resonate with you. Mm-hmm. But these are the same ones that are using like the gang terminology from Chicago and like acting mm-hmm. like they're from this environment. And it's like, you don't have to act like that. You weren't born into that. Mm-hmm. You fortunately lived in a decent area where you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Like, I've never understood why people wanted to be from that. There's nothing there. Like, mm-hmm. everybody who makes money leaves for a reason. Yeah. Some of them come back and give back like Chance the Rapper did, but like for the most part, people leave.
Yeah. Is it harder to make songs like that, or is it easier for you to write songs about those kind of topics and experiences?
It's pretty easy, honestly, because it's just really speaking from my life experience. So I just pick a situation, like I wrote a song about that situation, mm-hmm. pick up a situation and then just kind of go from there. Axios and I have a really decent working relationship, so I'll send him a beat, I'll send him my verse, he'll send the verse back, we'll get in the studio, and from there, you can let anybody listening to this, you can listen to any song with me and Axios on it. I don't care what it is, what topic it is, what we're talking about, every time. Every time. Like, every time. It just complements so well. So, it's pretty easy for me to pick a topic to talk about. This will be pretty easy, too. I feel like, again, this is something that's really important. We need to ultimately, like, come together as a whole, because having a divide between us is crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, that's suburb, city, we still going through the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I feel like racism is racism, no matter, like, where you're at, no matter who it's, like, coming from, whether it's your own people or, like, different people, you know?
Yeah, we gotta stop that. And, I mean, bless those people. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they've grown, but yeah, you shouldn't make anybody feel unwelcome in an environment they don't know how to get through. Mm-hmm. Especially something like, I went to a PWI, something like that. You really have to be careful, like making people feel like they don't belong. Yeah. It was an interesting situation, to say the least. But I ended up getting my college degree. I graduated, and then I got up out of Naperville.
There you go. Okay, so let's talk about Divinity Records. How did you go about choosing them as your record label?
I'm actually co-CEO of the label.
Oh, are you?
So this is what happened. When I got to North Central, I knew James Taylor. I met him first. He was handing out flyers in our like commons area for a show he was trying to do, and I was bugging him like, "Hey James, let me perform, bro. Watch out, move." James didn't know I rapped back then. He thought I was just trying to bug him. I guess that's my boy though. Axios ended up coming in there while I was talking to James. My other friend Manny was in there. He was like talking to me. He was like talking about a painting he was working on, and I started rap. Manny was like, "Man, rap, spit something." So I started rapping for him. It was something, I don't remember what I said. It was something crazy, and X overheard it, and he was like, "Yo, what'd you say?" Mm-hmm. So we going back and forth for a good like 5-10 minutes, just rapping, talking. He eventually gave me his number. He's like, "Hey, bro, hit me up. Like, I rap too." Cool. I didn't hit him up right away. I didn't hit him up right away. Towards the end of my senior year in college, I met him in the beginning of my senior year. He graduated a year before me. Towards the end of my senior year, he ended up coming up to the school and was hanging out with some people. So I ended up talking to him like, "Hey, bro, what's up? What you working on?" I ended up checking out some of his music. Like, this is cold. So he was like, "Man, you trying to go to the studio?" I'm like, "What's up?" So the next day he came back, go to the studio, working on that Middle Child remix. Shout out J. Cole, favorite rapper. We got in there. I guess like I knew he could rap, but he ain't really heard me rap like that. And that's another one that's about like social issues. So when he heard my verse, he was just like, "Holy shit!" Like I was like, "Yeah, man, I got it like that." So from there, I graduated. He's doing what he's doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. We checking in on each other occasionally, and then COVID hit, and he wanted to pull the trigger on the rap group. So he called me. He was like, "Man, bro, we should jump in the rap group. Like, we should do this." So another guy we work with, his name is D Wayne. Shout out Tommy. He was like, "Man, I got D Wayne over here. He trying to spit too. Like, he trying to do this." So we all got on a Zoom call, and we was like, "Yeah, we should do this." So I spit for Tommy. He spit for me. I knew Tommy could like sing, but I didn't know he could rap like that. Mm-hmm. Cold with it. So I'm like, "All right, cool. We could do this." We had like back to back Zoom meetings. Like, how are we gonna do this? How do you want to establish it? What are we gonna call ourselves? We had a couple different names, and initially I did not like Divinity. I was like, this is a very just weird name. Like it hits the tongue weird. Like Divinity. Like what are we trying to push? It. Eventually it grew on me. Okay. Eventually it ended up growing on me. So we became Divinity, and I was living in Wisconsin at the time. My parents had just moved up there, so I was with them after graduation. I was coming back and forth. So I jumped on a couple of songs for D Wayne's tape, The Circus. I got on Bottom and I got on Sway. And I was already writing stuff then. I didn't have like a microphone or nothing, but I was still writing and stuff. So I got on Bottom, killed it, smoked that verse. Like first official verse, like in the group, killed it, smoked it. That whole record is amazing. From there, we just kept working and kept building. I dropped my first project, Mixed Emotions. Then I followed it up from A Prince to a King, then King James, and then my most recent one is Isekai, which is my anime tape. And from there, like, you know, when we dropped that first record, we knew we had something special, and we just kept working towards it. We was just a group at that time, though. Then later on, I sat down with X, and I was like, "Yo, we need to make this a label. Like, we need to just sign ourselves, because these other labels, they might not see the value in what we're trying to put out." Mm-hmm. He agreed. So from there, we kind of just, he went through the whole process of getting the business part set up. We had a group meeting. We got voted co-CEOs. So from there, we just handling all the business. He put out a record last year. I think it was Above the Surface he put out. Good project. D Wayne's working on something right now, and I got like 3 tapes I'm working on at once.
I am interviewing your whole company. That's what I just realized. You're saying all these names, and I'm like, I know them. That's so funny. It makes sense because James put me on with all of you guys.
Hey, shout out James, man. Shout out James. One thing about James, and I know he gonna watch this. One thing about James is if he your friend and he believe in what you doing, he gonna support you and connect you with the right people. So shout out my boy James. Bald head.
He is.
He gonna get mad when he hear that. He gonna get mad. I'm gonna call him out just to tell him he gonna get mad.
I'm gonna keep it in there too. So what is your writing process like?
It's weird because there's like 3 different things that may happen. I might have the words pop in my head. Like when we was driving here, I would just have like, I'm the best, can't nobody stop me. Beat the beat up, they call me Rocky. Young EJ, too flying cocky. Like something like that. And I'll be like, okay, that's kind of raw. And then I'll build off of that. And then kind of see where it goes. That's with no beat. I'll build off that, see how it sounds. That's one thing that may happen. I might hear a beat and I might be like, man, this beat is insane. What's one I just heard? Shout out Machine Gun Kelly. Hopefully he watching this. Shout out Machine Gun Kelly. He dropped a song off his tape from 2017. It's an album called Bloom. He dropped a song called The Gunner. The song is so cold. The beat is crazy. So I'm listening to this song. I'm like, all right, I'm finna snatch this beat up. And I'll listen to the beat over and over. And this is like, even if somebody sends me an original beat, I'll listen to it over and over and over and over. She gets annoyed with me sometimes. So I'm playing this beat 100 times, like over and over and over and over in the headphones, out loud, in the car. I'm playing this beat. I'm at work. My boss, what the hell are you doing? I'm listening to this beat, like out loud, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. And
something that hit me. So on that song, the first thing that hit me was like, came from the gutter, they ain't give me nothing, I'm just trying to win. And yeah, with Jesus, the devil he'd be knocking, he crying like, please EJ, just let me in. You know what I'm saying? And from there, just build upon it. Or I'll be in the studio, and this happened on one of the records that X did, Senju. I'll be in the studio, it's off his last tape, Jukebox, and I'll be listening, I'll just be hanging out, and I'll be listening to something like, wait man, that's cold, man. Let me get on that, let me get a piece of that. And then I can just build off of what the next person says. So we also got another song called First Form. Me and X have enough songs to make 2 tapes. We got a song called First Form on my project, Isekai, which is of course the anime tape. And like we literally pick up where the other person left off and build off our verse like that. And like those are like my main 3 ways of like songwriting. But usually if I'm writing like a solo project, lock myself in a room, she don't even get in, I kick the cat out, play the beat with a piece of paper in front of me, and I just remember those drills my brother took me through, and like I'm not stopping until I figure something out.
Yeah.
Even if it's like something that I don't feel like I want to actually put in the final cut of the song, I'll just have it in there and build off of it, then just cross out what I don't want and just write over it. If you see my notebook, there's one page on the song I wrote where it's like, and it's one of my best verses actually, if you look at the page, half of it is black from me just crossing stuff out. Like, I don't want to say that, I want to say this. I don't want to say that, I want to say this. I don't want to say this right here, I'll put this here, arrows and stuff, put this here, flip this one back up here. So like it looks like a mad scientist is like writing a bunch of formulas in there.
Do you like freestyling when you go in? Do you ever just go with the intentions of freestyling and see what comes out, or do you like going with stuff written down?
I freestyle too. I'm trying to think what song I did it off of. I know you listen to a good amount of my discography. I just did that on King James, I think. On one of the songs on King James. I think it was the intro on King James. Mitigation, techniques, frequencies, balance these. I freestyled that. I freestyled that. Like she'll be in the studio with me. Shout out Cartel Records. My girlfriend will be in the studio with me, and what she'll be, cause studio is my room. I'm literally just recording in my room, and like I'll say something I wrote down, like okay, cool. Put the notebook off to the side, and then I'm just freestyling the rest of the time. I got a song coming out in a minute. I say maybe like a couple weeks with this artist named Marianna. She cold. Y'all check her out. And like half of that song, half of my verse is like freestyle. Well, she only did the hook, so my second verse is all freestyle.
That's
like
crazy.
That's years of practice. I did my 10,000 hours, man.
That's
my brother
true.
wasn't letting me get away with that.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about it?
When I get something that I think is a great verse because she'll hear me scream from the room. Oh yeah, oh it's cold. Ooh, like this coming out like, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you okay? So now I spit it. She's like, that's cold, but like, why are you screaming?
I know, why are you so loud? What's your ultimate career goal? Like how in your books, like what is you making it look like?
Sign me to Dreamville.
Oh, okay.
Sign me to. I say this all the time when we have our divinity meetings, and we talk about it. I even have a whiteboard at home where I had it up there. It's not up there now, but like I have a whiteboard at home where it's like a calendar here, and on the side it's like just like an agenda list. And I have a slot for like motivational things to like when I wake up tell myself. Right now it says believe in yourself, screw a hater. It used to say hashtag sign to Dreamville, and I will see this every day. In the meetings, when we have the divinity meetings, sign to Dreamville every day. X and I actually have debates about this. His favorite rapper is Kendrick Lamar. My favorite rapper is J. Cole. J. Cole and then Kendrick. So 1A and 1B, they both at the top. With him, it's Kendrick and then J. Cole. So we have debates all the time, go back and forth. We've even been in the studio. We recorded a song. We remixed Tyler Hero's beat for his not Tyler Hero, excuse me, Jack Harlow's song Tyler Hero.
Yeah. We
remixed that, and like people literally would tell us like it sounds like Cole and Kendrick on the song.
You have it out?
It's out on SoundCloud. Spotify flagged it because it was already a released song, so we put it out, but it's on SoundCloud.
What's it called?
Tyler Hero remix.
I really like that beat too.
I'm
trying to think if I would have remembered if I heard it. I might not have heard that one.
We killed that one, and it's like
listen to it.
We had a little contest. It was like we're not gonna tell each other what each other, because we usually call each other and be like, "Man, I wrote this,"
yeah,
and then we'll build off of it. With that one, it was like we're not gonna tell each other anything. We're just gonna write, and then when we have our most confident verse, we're going in the studio same day and recording it. So I went in menacing with the sentences, replications, imminent. So many EJs, the music video for Eminem. My name Eric James. I'm betting you won't forget again. You know what I'm saying? You really want to play me? You heard of them other incidents? The last nigga dissed me is laying up in remembrance. We're not worth these bars. You never question who pen it is. Get your chick up off me. These hoes, this shit but a hindrance. People say they ill, but I came with a bunch of medicine. You know what I'm saying?
That's so. How do you speak that fast? That's so crazy.
The years of practice.
Yeah.
The years of practice. I used to listen to a lot of people that rap fast, like Eminem.
Can you do that one verse and look at me now? I want to learn that. I can't rap at all, but it's my like life goal to be able to rap that part.
I can. You talking about Busta Rhymes, right?
Yeah.
I can, but it's breath control.
Yeah.
So really, rapping fast is. I'm glad you asked that question too. Rapping fast is really just breath control. It's all about how you control your breathing and like where you like take breaths at in the song and things like that. Rapping fast is actually pretty easy once you get it down. My song Kamikaze off of Mixed Emotions, when I rap that in the studio, how fast bitch I'm a Kanye talking about Kaze, boy, when the rap game Saturday Friday's door gonna be when I got for the high grade, you know, they looking at me like the fuck? Bro, how you rapping that fast?
Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
Stay tuned because I got a lot of stuff coming out. So I got...
Yeah, tell people where to find you before we wrap up.
You can find me Instagram, EricJames_Divinity. That's all you on Instagram. I mean, you can follow me on TikTok, EricJames_Divinity. Those are my main two. I got Still Care coming out with MariannaCarr. Shout out MariannaCarr. I have an unnamed mixtape coming out in the next couple of months. And another unnamed mixtape coming out in the next couple of months. This is October currently, September, October. So I would say by December, you're going to see like 2 more tapes from me, maybe 2 music videos, a handful of singles. I have a vault. I just go home and record music, and I just have a vault of music I just sit on. So you're going to see a lot from me coming up soon. And then be extra tuned because March... I will be performing at somebody's venue in Tokyo, Japan.
Really? Wow.
So be on the lookout for that because we finna take over Tokyo. Then y'all gotta put respect on my name and call me international.
Thanks. I'll be looking forward to that. Tokyo is so cool.
Yeah, you'll see me in Japan performing at some. I got some DJ friends out there. I already told them what it is, so I have a Japanese performance coming up soon.
Nice.
Also, you can find me on YouTube as well, official Eric James. And then if you just want to just know everything about me, or keep track of me, stay in contact with me, or whatever the case may be, just go to my official website, officialericjames.com. Everything you're gonna need is on there. Tap in with me and enjoy the ride, because we're gonna get famous.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Chit Chat. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed our chat and will stick around for my next interview. Until then, remember, be happy and be chill.